Guys, 3 years into this podcast, and we still don't know how to get it right. We just recorded about 20 minutes worth of content, but I wasn't recording. So here we are again. Welcome back to the show. Hey, Manny, what it look like?
What's up, man? I can't pretend like we're just seeing each other for the first time right now, man. I
Yeah,
laughed at you over some Red Sox Yankee talks and
we
stuff
had
like
some
that.
laughs. I had some cries. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, good Red Sox Yankees talk that we just had. Maybe we'll revisit it towards the end of the podcast. But for now, we're going to talk about an incident that occurred last night, August 17th. Today is August 18th. Hopefully we could drop this video today. And it involves a phenom, Fernando Tatis Jr., one of my favorite players in the league.
I'll take him.
Yeah. You
Love this guy.
suggest an extension at this point. 15 years,
Hell
I
yeah.
think is what you
Extend
said.
his ass. Give him
Yeah.
15 years. Fuck it.
He
15
seems like he's
years.
worth it.
Yeah, hell yeah. Barring any injuries, he did get hurt last year for a while.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the injury was.
I remember. It was
This
is what it was. Someone was either someone was stealing second, or they were picking somebody off, or it was in the middle of a double play moment, and he did like a first base split
Oh
to
yeah.
catch the
Ooh,
ball.
yeah, I remember that.
He ended up overextending that split. It was an ugly
Oh,
situation. The scrotum was
yeah.
probably ripped in half.
He sounded like a chipmunk for the next month. So Fernando Tatis yesterday, the Padres are leading the Rangers 10-3. He comes up with the bases loaded, 3-0 count, and I can't remember who the pitcher was. Lays a fucking, it was a meatball,
goose egg,
right down the middle. It was like 92 miles an hour or something, and he took it apple taco for a grand slam. Tingler, fucking horrible name by the way, and Chris Woodward, the managers for the Texas Rangers. Well, first, let me just say about the manager for the Texas Rangers. Didn't like that Tatis swung on a 3-0 pitch when they're winning 10-3. And Tingler then reiterated, Padres manager, that they weren't trying to run up the score, blah, 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 kind of making, like, not having his players back at all, which I thought was bullshit. And I just want to say, if you don't want a grand slam being hit off of you, then fucking throw a better pitch. Like, I'm sorry. This is the game. This is baseball. This is sports. The point is to, you know what? The point is to run up the score so you can fucking win the game. That's the point.
Yep.
The Rangers could come back from a 10-3 deficit. The chances aren't that good, but it's possible, or a 14-3 deficit. So why would Tatis just stand there and watch a meatball go past for a strike? It doesn't make any sense to me. And this is why it kind of made me think of why we don't see records get broken so much, aside from the steroid era. And it's because of shit like this. Like, Tatis needs these home runs, needs these stats to boost himself up so that he can try to earn more money later on in the future. Why would he let fucking a meatball go past when he could take that home run, earn 4 RBIs, earn another home run on his record? And so, yeah, the point I was trying to make is this is why records will never be broken, because of stupid unwritten rules like this. Like, how many home runs do you think Mike Trout has watched pass by just because he didn't want to hurt the other guy on the other side of the bench's feelings? Give me a fucking break, man. Take the ball, hit the home run. Fuck those guys. That's my take.
To be honest with you, like, I've been playing baseball for a long time and watching baseball for a long time, and not until the other day when the Nationals beat the Mets, it was like 11-1 in the 5th inning, I think it was. And it wasn't until I heard Keith Hernandez and Ron Darling talk about, oh, he better not swing in 3-0. Because if he does, back in my day, there would be the next pitch would be high and in or something, right? And it wasn't until that point that I realized that hadn't even been an unwritten rule. Like, I don't think I've ever heard of the rule, don't swing on 3-0. The only rule I ever heard revolving, or better yet, don't swing on a 3-0 count when your team is, leading by however many runs. So that's a dumbass rule to begin with, because, well, who gets to decide what's the limit of runs? I think 5 runs is a lot of runs in the 8th inning. I think a 3-run lead is a good enough lead in the 8th inning. You know, it means they would have to load the bases, and the winning run would have to come up to bat. Like, a lot has to go on for it to get to that point. So I consider 3 runs a lot, 5 runs. In this case, what was it? 8 runs, I think it was, or 8-3?
7 runs.
7 runs. Okay. So it wasn't until that game with the Nats and the Mets that I even heard of that unwritten rule where you don't want to swing on a 3-0 ball when you're up by however many runs.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, Fernando Tatis did that. The result was a grand slam. The first thing I want to say is I'm disappointed at Fernando Tatis for even apologizing for it.
Yeah,
Like,
same here.
don't apologize for that shit. You're
No.
you're paid to do that exact same thing, and the guy throwing you the ball is paid to prevent that. So don't apologize for hitting home run. But I will say this: I do see I could see a situation where you're winning by a lot of runs, in this case 7, and for the guy to lay down a bunt to get on base. Like at that point, I feel like just swing away.
I think that's different. For me, that's
it's
different.
It's different, but it leaves the door open that there is an unwrittenness.
Yeah.
There's an unwritten rule to baseball, and I do think there are unwritten rules to baseball. We're gonna get into a list of them in a moment, but I just wanted to point that out, that you don't ever apologize for hitting a home run, 3-0, 3-1. Like, what's the big difference? What? So like let him get ahead 3-1, and now you're supposed to like let the next one go? Can you swing at the next one? What's the difference? The outcome's going to be the same. Stupid shit. Don't ever apologize for swinging the bat and putting the bat on the ball ever.
Right. I don't know. I just don't. If put yourself in that situation, you've been in that situation way more than I have, but you see a meatball, you're not going to swing at it. Like,
if anything, you should want guys to swing at it. Not because, I mean, first of all, understand that. So I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the only unwritten rule of baseball that I ever followed with 3-0 counts is that growing up, is that you don't swing on a 3-0 count. Don't miss the opportunity that the pitcher's going to throw a ball for, and you get a run in, and you just replay the situation with the next at bat. So that's the only rule I ever really followed. I'm more likely to not swing at 3-0, but I did notice, the older I got, the more professional baseball I watched, the elite hitters, the guys that are locked in, like the Pujols, the Trouts, guys like that are given the green light because there's a chance they're not going to miss. Tatis is there's a chance they're going to miss. But even with that, you look at what the elite hitters do, the chances of that ball being hit out of the park are not that high. So if anything, you'd want a guy to swing at a 3-0 pitch and have that be the out to get you out of the inning. Like nobody would be complaining if he swung and popped up to like the infield. I just think it's a stupid rule.
Yeah, and now I'm watching it on a replay on Twitter right now, and he didn't even put like the best swing on it. He kind of just threw the bat out there, and the ball flung out. Like,
yeah.
And I'm not trying to say that he wasn't trying to do that, but I just don't. And this is another one of those things that I understand why a multi-sport athlete, Kyler Murray, the most recent one, would choose football over baseball. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we're talking about today. Like, come on.
I'm upset that he even apologized.
Yeah. At the same time, I think that Tingler and Woodward, and I think I saw Eric Hosmer talking to Tatis in the dugout. Like, it almost sounded like he was explaining like why you don't do this. I can't hear what they were saying, but that's what it seemed like. It seems like they're the outsiders on this, because if you go on Twitter today or anywhere on the internet, any writer or anything, it's taking the position that Tatis did nothing wrong. So hopefully this conversation starts shifting in the other direction. We start talking about why that pitcher threw that fucking meatball with the bases loaded and a 3-0 count. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you do know why he threw a meatball, because he thought he was going to take it for a strike. But
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I'm not blaming the pitcher for throwing a meatball, because more often than not in that situation, the guy is going to take the pitch. Like,
yeah.
But I don't think I would never think that he's taking the pitch to be considerate. Because like, what happens if he hits it? So what? Like, should he feel bad for hitting a grand slam like on a 2-0 count?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Would the situation still fit on a 2-0 count,
or just the first pitch in the at bat? You know?
Yeah, what I mean? like okay, so you're up by 7 runs. It's Fernando Tatis, bases loaded. There's a mind state going into that at bat, thinking like, well, I'm gonna get ahead with this first pitch strike. What if he took that one deep? Yeah. Like,
well, and then conversely, then another situation happened. I think it was yesterday, where Juan Soto
Yeah.
hit a home run off of Will Smith, and he just that was flat out disrespect. I mean, I don't know what's happening, what happened between Will Smith and Juan Soto prior to this or whatever, but he made it abundantly clear, Will Smith, you're my bitch. Like, that's what I just did to you. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked it, and maybe I'm biased because I love Juan Soto, but I could see a situation like that being talked about more today than the Fernando Tatis situation.
That was a bomb, by the way.
Oh
So
my God.
Juan Soto is the new
On fire, man.
He's the new Albert Pujols. He's the new machine.
Unbelievable.
Like, I can't think of a better nickname than the machine, 2.0 or updated, upgraded, whatever. But
and continue to let baseball, please continue to let him do these things because it's good for the sport. People will watch if shit like this continues.
Yeah, and I just want to say about that incident, I don't want to put all the blame on Juan Soto for extending that moment with the stare and flipping the bat and all that trashiness talk to the game. But I'm wondering, like, I feel like he was only staring back because the pitcher must have been staring at him to begin with. Because when do you ever see a pitcher stare directly? Like, it's like his head never moved from Juan Soto's position. So it's like, what was the pitcher doing looking at Juan Soto? Usually you see a pitcher give up a ball like that, the first thing you do is turn back and look to see where it landed. Like, holy shit.
Or they turn back and start rubbing the next ball. Let's get ready for the next batter.
Yeah,
you know
like,
what I mean?
So I almost feel like Juan Soto, I'm not saying he's 100% innocent, but if you leave that door open for a guy like Juan Soto, he's like, what, 21? He's still a kid. Mm-hmm. Like, he's going to take the next step. So if you have Alex Bregman carrying a bat to first base, Juan Soto's going to carry the bat and one-up you. Like, I think I can't get mad at him for always wanting to have the last word, especially since he kind of puts the stamp on it. But Dansby Swanson actually had the last word last night.
Yeah,
walks it off with a 2-run homer in the 9th. So Juan Soto had to eat that towards the end. But
so I'm watching the replay too, and I agree with you. It almost looks like Smith threw the pitch and like was waiting for Juan Soto's reaction. He was like almost inciting a problem for me. I know that seems like he's grasping at straws, but that's what it looked like to me. I'm watching it right now. Soto hits the home run. He knows it's gone right off the bat, and Smith just stares at him the entire time. Like,
doesn't flinch. Yeah, and it's like
not flinch.
And again, not making excuses for Juan Soto, because although I like the aggressiveness that he's bringing to baseball, I don't like overdoing stuff like that. But when has Juan Soto ever, and I hope this isn't I hope this isn't like a common thing that I'm just like, putting my foot in my mouth about, but when has Juan Soto ever stared a pitcher down like that? Especially,
it's not, to my knowledge, it's not something only during the shimmy. But again, we talked about the shimmy, and the shimmy is a challenge. You know what I mean? Like,
and the shimmy happens pre-result. Like, it's before the at bat even finishes. So I love the shimmy. Like, let's not.
And the shimmy for me is almost like a boxer standing in his corner staring the other guy down. It's like, my attention is on you. I got, like, you're my target right now, and that's how it should be. And then on top, not just that, but I feel like anything that happens during an at bat, unless it's intentional, like a ball between the numbers or whatever, anything that happens during an at bat, whether it's the pitcher strikes you out on a 100-mile-an-hour heater up top or whatever, or you hit a home run on a nasty slider that nobody expected you to hit a home run off of, you should be allowed to celebrate in your little moment there. Like, if you're the pitcher and you strike out Juan Soto in that situation, I would have no problem if Will Smith started pumping his fist and being like, fuck that, like, take that, motherfucker. Like, I don't care. Like, that's
grabbing his nutsack and everything. Like, yeah, motherfucker.
That's adrenaline. That's a basketball player dunking over somebody and shouting like, like, this is what I just did, right? Same thing for Juan Soto. Let him have his moment. He hit the home run. Let him flaunt if he wants to. Like, just let it go. But for some reason, baseball is just full of people that are soft as fuck, man, and it needs to stop. That's my last F word today. I'm gonna try to not curse anymore.
It won't be my last, because we'll get to that. But want to really quick go through Wikipedia's list of unwritten rules in baseball.
Let's go.
Now, I need to have an entire discussion, but just want to go through them real quick. I think we can get through the list, give our opinions on it. Unwritten rules include, for the batter, Do not bunt to break up a no-hitter. Fuck that. I disagree.
I disagree too.
Bunt,
I disagree.
bro. Like if you're Billy Hamilton and you're up in the 8th inning, your specialty is to get on base because of your speed, bunt to get on any way possible. If you can't bunt to break up a no-hitter, then just let's outlaw the bunt entirely. Yes.
And most likely than not, if you're being no hit, you're probably going to lose the game. So
yeah,
you need to do whatever. If you cannot figure this pitcher out, you need to do whatever you need to do to get yourself on base so that you could possibly score a run. Like you said, if Billy Hamilton bunts a single, he could steal second, he could steal third. He's one base away from giving his team a run. You know what I mean? Like,
you know
no
what?
problems with that at all. Like the opponent's job is not to help you get the no-hitter. That doesn't make any sense.
You know, after looking at this, after reading this rule in my head, I have to just throw in a little like annotation here. So bunt to break up the no-hitter if it means that you're still in striking distance of tying the game up or taking the lead. If it's 10-0 in the 8th inning and the guy's throwing a no-hitter, I would feel some type of way if you bunted to get on base. At that point,
man.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. Like it's almost like you wouldn't bunt because you're essentially giving up an out. So if you're just giving up an out, why not try to swing away and, hit one over the fence or hit a double?
But if you bunted for a single, most likely it's because your defense fucked up in some way, shape, or form. I know that some people are masters at bunting, but if your defense is on point and they're expecting that in certain parts of the game or whatever, that's on you, man. To get a no-hitter, you need to be flawless in all aspects of the game. So you have to be flawless in that aspect too. That's how I see it.
Well, here we go. Do not swing on a 3-0 count when your team is ahead. We spoke about that whole Tatis situation. I disagree with that rule.
Same.
Do not spend your time admiring a home run you hit. Wow. Could not disagree more.
Me too, man.
But I do think that, but see that here we go again. I think there's a threshold of what a guy should be allowed to do. Like, I don't think a guy should hit a home run and turn the knob of the bat inside like you're a witch on your broomstick, or like you're on a horse and galloping. And I don't think the guy should gallop around the bases with his bat and act like a fool. I think there's it's a more of feel the pulse of the game type of thing for me. So
here's my challenge for you guys. You are in a busy city. You see you're looking for parking for an hour, and you find the perfect spot in front of that restaurant you're trying to go to. You won't have to walk blocks, but you see that spot. It's kind of tight, but you see that spot, and you nail it on the first try. Tell me you're not pumping your fist or some shit. It's the same thing, man. It's just a natural reaction. Fuck, look what I just did. I just parked this car. I didn't even tap any bumpers or nothing.
You lost me there, man. You lost me.
Man. It's natural for humans to celebrate something that they just did that was fucking incredible, man. That's all I'm saying. Let it go. Let it be. If you hit a home run on a 3-0 count, that's your fault. It's not my fault. You gave me a meatball. Don't give me a meatball next time.
Well, this is the admiring your home run. So the other rule.
What if the umpire had called it a ball and he walked in the run? Are you then what? Are you still mad at Tatis for taking the pitch that time? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
No, yeah. The baseball has a lot of gray areas, and this admiring your home run after you hit it. To me, there's a limit of what a guy should do. Like I mentioned before, he shouldn't rip his jersey off and just swing it around his head and then choose to run the bases
and do cartwheels all the way around or some shit.
So this next rule I agree with, but I understand your point of view as well. Do not steal bases if your team is ahead by a significant amount. I have to agree with this rule. I never enjoyed teams stealing bases when we're no longer even trying to hold the runner on because we're down by so much. So it's more of we're not trying to hold you on. You're basically just taking the base at this point. I kind of have to agree with that unwritten rule of baseball.
I don't know. I see where you're coming from, but something about it just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know.
For example, do you ever get to a point in a game where they bring in, a utility man to just pitch the last 3 batters of the game because the score is so high?
Mm-hmm.
So that guy officially, he's not trying to hold on the runner because that's not his job to hold on the runner. The catcher is receiving a ball at 75, 85 miles per hour. So it's like in that case, if you're stealing bases at that point, I'd have to look at you and be like, all right, like you're just being a dickhead at this point.
To me, it reminds me of in hockey, like you pull your goalie because you want an extra player on your team to try to score goals so that you can, because you're behind. You need a goal desperately. So I'm going to take my goalie away and put another offensive player in there to try to score a goal. And the opposing team, it's like you're expecting the opposing team not to shoot it in my goal because you already have this big lead. Don't disrespect me like that. Nah, if the fucking net is wide open and I have a shot, I'm taking that shot. Like don't try to stop me. Fuck that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but see the other team made that substitution in order to score. In this case, the team is making the substitution because they're just like, I'm not gonna roll my guy out there just so and then I won't be able to use him tomorrow. Let me throw in Pablo Sandoval here to just eat up these 2 innings. And yeah, obviously they can steal if they want, but I'm not gonna appreciate it. Like,
Yeah, okay, I got you.
yeah,
I see your point. Your point. I don't
uh,
like your point, but I see it.
do not swing at the first pitch of the at bat. Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Just reading into this, I'm like, this is probably a dumb rule, but do not swing at the first pitch of the at bat if the pitcher has allowed back-to-back home runs. I've never heard of this rule, and that's probably the dumbest rule. Do not swing at the first pitch of the at bat if the pitcher has allowed back-to-back home runs. No, swing
I'm trying
at.
to figure out now when the pitcher hits back-to-back home runs, I'm going to be watching that. I never
Yeah.
even heard of that, and I don't see why. I don't understand.
And
why.
the White Sox actually had a back-to-back moment last night, so I'll probably try to pull that back up and see what happens.
Last week they had a back-to-back. I think.
Wow.
The White Sox.
Here we go. Do not work the count if your team is winning or losing by a significant amount.
Oh,
where do they get this from?
Oh my God! Some of these are conflicting too. Like,
yeah,
so, wait,
it's like, okay,
so
so
was
I can't swing.
just supposed to just swing on purpose and miss? Like that, I would say, as an opposing player, I would find that offensive. Like, are you just going up there and just not even trying? Like, fuck that. Like, I want the competition.
This is a weird list, and I've never heard of don't work the count if your team is winning or losing by a significant account. So not only if your team is winning.
There's a good opportunity. If you're listening to this, put in the comment sections any unwritten rules that you've heard of that we're not mentioning, because we need to revisit this fucking thing at some point.
Yeah, and this goes both ways. If your team is winning, don't work the count. If you're losing by a significant amount, don't work the count. So if you're losing, just give up all hope.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't make any sense.
All right. Do not rub the spot where you hit by a pitch. All right. Maybe I have to revisit this list. This is more of like a catch-all. Like, don't rub the spot where you were hit. Are you kidding me?
What the fuck? Like, what are we, machines? Like,
that is an unwritten sort of like joke of a rule in baseball. Like, don't rub it. Like, don't be a little girl and rub it. If you're hit by a pitch. Do not walk in front of a catcher or umpire when walking to the batter's box. I'm not left-handed. Usually when I walk up to a batter's box. Actually, you know what? I noticed that I always do walk behind the umpire, but not because I'm like trying to preserve the unwritten rule. I don't know why.
I've seen some people get upset because they walked in front of, I can't remember who, but I've seen this recently, and I remember not like this year, maybe last year, maybe 2 seasons ago. It was probably something A-Rod did. Let's be real here, guys. But I remember thinking, seriously? Like, what the fuck? Isn't that the closest path? I think it was A-Rod. He went back to his dugout by crossing the infield somehow. Like, it was just like...
It was when I don't know if it was A-Rod, and I do and this incident actually happens a couple times. I think it happens every year. It's when a batter kind of grounds out and he makes his way back to the dugout. He crosses the pitcher's mound instead of just taking the long way out. He crosses the pitcher's mound, and it's usually when the batter steps on the pitcher's mound. Like, can you imagine a guy grounding out and then running back to his dugout, stepping on the pitcher's mound on his way back? I've seen that turn into conflict over the past. I kind of get it, but again, like, what are we like?
And who started this? Who was the one that said?
It's probably Babe Ruth.
Don't touch my fucking mound, bro. Like, get the fuck out of
my
here.
Mound.
You know what I mean?
Here we go. Do not stand on the dirt near home plate when the pitcher is warming up. I get it, I guess. Like, don't be too excited to bat. Don't let your excitements get to you when you're trying to bat, I guess.
Okay.
Do not assist a member of the opposing team.
Obviously.
Dude,
That's
I think they mean like if a foul ball happens to roll your way, don't throw it back to the pitcher. Like
okay.
let their ball boy get it. I guess. Do not. I guess. I mean, or like if you see a guy, that Bryce Harper incident a couple years back when he slipped on home plate and like, dislocated his kneecap.
By the way,
don't help him up. Let him.
Can we give Bryce Harper some love real quick before we continue with this super fun list? Bryce Harper has a league leading. Everybody's talking about Charlie Blackmon hitting 500 and everything. Bryce Harper's on base percentage, league leading 493. Come on.
Let's go,
Guy's
man.
the fucking beast. Give him his respect already. He's on your team?
Yeah. We should have mentioned too that Fernando Tatis is the league leader in home runs. We brought that up as well. But yeah, he took the lead. Trout was the first to 10 home runs. Tatis took the lead yesterday. I think he had 2 home runs in the game.
Very nice.
Let's see here. Do not speak to a pitcher who is in the process of throwing a no-hitter.
I've heard that one.
I've heard it too, but Jesus, man, like, no, I don't believe it because I believe more don't mention the no-hitter. But if my pitcher is in the 6th inning of his no-hitter and he just struck out the side in an immaculate inning, like,
yeah, I see it the way you're seeing it. Maybe I misheard it or something, but I agree. It's don't talk about the no-hitter.
Yeah.
During a no, and that applies to everybody. Like,
I feel like it applies to even the announcers that they can't hear, and yet the announcers always are quick to point out so and so perfect through 5, or whatever. Yeah. All right, so those were for the batter. For the pitcher, a pitcher who is removed from the game in the middle of an inning must stay in the dugout until the end of the inning. Yeah, I mean, I've never played professional baseball where I have anywhere else to go besides the bench, so I get it.
To be honest, I feel like I don't care if they stay or not, but I feel like the expectation should be that you stay for the rest of the game. Like, you're a part of the team. I never understood why. I mean, I get it. They only play every 5th day, but don't you want to be there for your boys? You know what I mean? Like I don't understand why. And I'm just pointing out Garrett Cole because he's a member of the Yankees and that's my favorite team. Nothing against you, Garrett Cole. I love you, bro. Anyway, I would expect to see Garrett Cole on the bench every day, not just on the day he pitches. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. Same.
A pitcher should not indicate displeasure if one of his fielders commits an error. This might be the greatest, not the greatest. This must be the realest unwritten rule of baseball for any sport, actually. Any sport. Don't ever show displeasure to your teammates ever. I don't see the point. I really don't. Yeah. Take it into the clubhouse, talk to him, text him later that day, whatever you got to do. But don't ever act like a bitch towards your teammates, because errors happen. Errors always happen
to everybody.
Strikeouts will happen. Mm-hmm. Mariano gives up home runs, happens. All this shit happens. So get over it. It's not about you. It's a team sport. So I have to agree with that rule, that unwritten rule of baseball. But that goes for any sport. That should be an unwritten rule in any sport.
That should be an unwritten rule. That should be an unwritten rule in life, I think.
Yeah, like don't chew your teammates' ass out like in front of anyone.
You're beating yourself up. It's like, I lost my car keys. Don't fucking jump down my throat now because of it. Like, I'm already beating myself up because I lost my car keys. I'm relating this to real life.
Oh.
I don't need you coming up to me and telling me you're fucking idiot for losing your car keys, man.
Yeah, you're saying like, as the fielder, like, don't make it worse. I already committed the error. Like I feel just as bad about this error as you do.
Right. In my amateur baseball days with you guys, I've made my share of errors. I've dropped a pop-up or two, maybe one. I remember one specifically.
None of those were recorded in the book, so as far as I know, yours is very clear. Solid.
And I beat myself up for it. I don't need somebody coming up to me and be like, damn, man, fuck, you dropped that pop-up. What the fuck is wrong with you? I know I dropped the pop-up, dumbass. Stop talking to me about it. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, like I in high school, we had a pitcher who literally started crying in the middle of a game because his ERA shot up due to, like, first of all, he gave up a bunch of hits, but the error that led to more runs being scored just, like, opened up the wound even more. The kid literally had tears. tears in his eyes. Nah, they wouldn't bench him. And then this last for the fans, do not discuss a no-hitter that is currently in progress. We already mentioned that. All right, so punishments for violating the unwritten rules include beanball wars. These beanings can result in bench clearing brawls. That's Wikipedia speaking there. So was there an unwritten rule, Manny, that you know of that I don't see the one about not stepping on the line?
Yeah.
The foul lines. I don't see that one. That's more of like a superstition
because I see guys touching the line all the time. I feel like.
Yeah, it's more of like an unwritten rule for the person. Like,
yeah,
I know not to touch the line. I don't touch the line. I do it almost like involuntarily now.
Yeah.
But
I can't think of any other rules.
I would say an unwritten rule of baseball is if you're gonna peck someone intentionally, do it, lower, like below the belt.
Yeah.
Would be an unwritten rule that I would throw in there. And I guess anything that involves cheating would be an unwritten rule of baseball. Don't cheat.
Good point. By the way, speaking of cheating, the Astros, man, Altuve looks lost at the plate. And I sometimes I wonder, and I'm projecting here, but I've always thought that Altuve was one of like the good guys of baseball, and he probably he still is. He saw an opportunity to cheat. Same thing with steroids. You see an opportunity to improve your game, you're going to take it, especially if baseball is not doing anything at the time to prevent you from doing it. Like they said, they put replay monitors steps away from the dugout. What did you expect, baseball? Come on. You know what I mean? At the same time, the way they cheated was pretty fucked up. But sometimes I wonder if it's more a mental game for him, as in people think I'm a fucking bad guy now. You know what I mean?
Like
instead of a depletion of talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, because to me, I always looked at Altuve as like, we all know he's not the common story of baseball, like the 5'6", 5'9" guy being like one of the best hitters on a team and winning championships and all that stuff, winning batting
MVP.
titles. Yeah. Did he win an MVP?
Over Judge, right? Wasn't it Altuve over Judge 2017?
Wow. Yes. That was a good.
We had that conversation. This is one of the reasons why this podcast started, man.
You're right. It also started because of that Joe Girardi missed call in the in the Indian series in 2017 ALDS.
Game 2, I think that was. Yeah.
Greg Bird. Yeah, I know. So real quick about that Altuve thing, I hear what you're saying, because I've always looked at him as the guy that's like he's not just a superstar in baseball. He's like a hero story for kids everywhere across the world, from his homeland and in America and all that stuff. And I do think there's a mental aspect where he now thinks he's a piece of shit because they got caught red-handed, and he's one of the faces of baseball. He doesn't have like that Alex Bregman, Trevor Bauer gene where they say what they mean and they're gonna, let you know it type of thing. So I do think there's a mental aspect to it that he's lost now, and it's due because they got caught. And I also want to say that JD Martinez is also struggling hitting as well, and people keep pointing to the fact that now they can't. He's one of the guys that would always go and look at his replay in the video room, in the dugout, or in the clubhouse. They can't do that.
Came from the Astros system, by the way.
Yeah, I wasn't taking it there. Just want to say that. He also seems to not be benefiting from this new rule where you can't go look at your replays anymore. A-Rod was actually getting on him for that a lot during the game, saying like, you got to forget about that at this point, focus in the game, which I happen to agree with.
There he is.
And then I also want to bring up, do you remember that study that they conducted where they had the guy zapping a guy that was like a prisoner, and they were just like, he was just electrocuting him. The guy wasn't really getting electrocuted, but he was being told, get this answer from this guy, and if he doesn't give it to you, torture him by zapping him with these electrodes. Do you remember that study? It basically proved. Or do you remember the study where in that university they broke up the prisoners and the guards? They were students, but they just made one the guards, one the prisoners. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that study?
Nope.
Jesus, man. Basically, the studies proved that if you're absolved of any consequences, that you will do horrific things as a human being to other human beings. Like
Mm.
the guy in this particular study, I'll just pull it up when I edit this video, but he basically was okay with torturing this other guy. He didn't know why. He wasn't told why, but he was okay with torturing the guy because he was being told to by a higher authority. So in this whole Astro situation, you know, for guys like Altuve, it's almost as if we should blame the organization, because more often than not, you're always going to do the wrong thing as long as you know that you're absolved of any consequences. Like,
yeah. And if nothing else, I blame the league. I blame the team
yeah,
ultimately. Like,
no, he's still guilty of
right.
cheating. It's just that if you look into like the psychological aspect of it, it's almost like guys are coming into the team, like Kyle Tucker, like he's a young guy on that team. He was
Right.
probably okay with the cheating because he's coming into it like, well, like what am I going to do? Go against the organization that's
Exactly.
signing my
Right.
checks,
Yeah.
you know?
No,
So it's
you're
like,
right. It's like groupthink. It's like to exaggerate even further. It's like Nazi Germany, right? Like I can't believe that every single Nazi
what was,
hated Jews and
yeah,
wanted to, you know what I mean? But they
yep,
were a part of a system and a part of a culture that said that this is what you do. So you're gonna fall in line with what it is that you're expected to do, and you know what I mean?
yep.
Again, not to excuse any of that shit. But
Nobody's making
uh,
excuses here.
word. What was I gonna say? With the JD Martinez thing, your comparison to JD Martinez and Jose Altuve, I kind of view them differently because I feel like his numbers are bad, but they're not like atrocious. You could see a player go through a stretch and play this poorly on a regular season.
Yeah.
Whereas his numbers, by the way, 238, 326, 405, they're not like they're bad. They're bad for JD Martinez.
They're not as bad as Altuve's, yeah.
But they're not. But for a guy like Jose Altuve, who's made his name on being a contact hitter and all that stuff, to play the way he's playing, 16 hits and 99 at bats, he's batting 176. I don't think and I'd have to go back and do the research. I don't think he's ever had a stretch like this before, and
No, I don't think so.
I can't imagine that this is a coincidence. And again, I'm not saying that the cheating is the reason that he was the type of player that he was. I think there's something else. There's something mental there.
Mm-hmm.
Some mental gymnastics going on, especially with that video. Like, I think I could picture him seeing that video and be like, fuck, man.
Like just getting hot every time he sees that replay. Like, oh my God, so embarrassing. Like,
like, why did I say not the camisa, man? No la camisa, no la camisa. I should have just fucking let them take off my shirt and been like, oh no, it's just
or I should have just not said anything and, you know, kept like, you're like, hey, like, just held it on. Like, oh my God, like, I don't want the Gatorade on me.
And then his comments weeks later that he didn't want to get in trouble with his wife and all this shit. And then people started posting pictures of himself shirtless all the time on the field. It's like, God damn, man.
What a cover up, man.
Wow. And then the funny thing is that they were so, like, this is another reason why I blame MLB. And now we're turning this into the Houston Astros. We do have some other things we need to talk about. But another reason why I blame MLB and why I think that MLB is the real like culprit here is because in one of the most damning pieces of that scandal was when John Boy went back to the World Series video. You know, like that video that they come out with at the end when they win the World Series, and the replay room, the cheating, where they did all the cheating, was right there. That's where the footage is from, where Correa's walking past and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So they must have been like, I'm sure some other teams are doing this shit because baseball has the replay room right here. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, no, going back to what I said, that you'll make bad decisions or inflict pain or torture other humans as long as you're absolved of the consequences. If there's someone above you saying it's okay, do it, don't worry about it, like this, I could just imagine for all those players, you know, the GM or the president coming in and saying, guys, like, to be honest with you, like, I talked to other GMs and presidents, everybody's doing this shit. Like, we're just one step ahead. Once they figure out what we're doing, everybody's going to be doing it. And I kind of do have to believe that other teams were taking advantage of that video. Like, how could you not? Like you said.
Right. All right.
Not making excuses. I'm just saying that, you know,
go ahead.
When you're absolved of the consequences, you will partake in Some horrible acts.
And again, not to throw your team down again, but the Astros might have seen, oh shit, they're using the iWatch, the Apple iWatch shit. Like fuck, like damn, we need to get on the ball here because, oh wait, the Yankees got a fine because they were using the replay room. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I would be shocked if any team didn't take advantage of the replay room in any way, shape, or form. Just me though.
And just one more thing, not so much, but like the guys announcing the games know the signs.
Mm-hmm.
Like after the third inning, they're like, "Yep, just like I said, another fastball coming here." They know the signs, so technically, like they can come up with their own. They don't need a trash can banging scenario to get the sign. They could come up. Technology is advanced enough. They probably did have electronics in that Astro series, and people
or
probably still do.
What if the off day pitcher, CC Sabathia, let's say for example, it's an off day for him. He's not necessarily sitting on the bench, but we know that there are players that still hang out in the clubhouse. Say he's in the clubhouse, he's watching the Yankee game, and he's starting to notice, oh, the pitcher does this little tip when he's about to throw a slider, and he goes out in the dugout and says, yo, watch out for this tip or whatever. Is that considered cheating? He's watching the game on a monitor. He could see the signs. He could see, like, you know what I mean?
I would consider it cheating if, I mean, in this new age of baseball that we're living in now, like I would consider it cheating if he only got that sign because he was watching it via the video feed. Like if the only way he got the sign was because of the angle that the video feed was showing, then yeah, I would say it was cheating. I don't think it's cheating, but according to these new rules,
yeah. So then baseball needs to, in my opinion, remove all technology, all electronics from the clubhouse, from the dugout, no electronics at all. Like you can't have an iPad, you can't have shit. Like you could only go by the book. All right. From one cheater to another, Alex Rodriguez, real quick.
Oh brother.
Alex Rodriguez has formed a group to try to buy the Mets, and it seems like it's down to Steve Cohen, and Alex Rodriguez's group. And a story came out in the New York Post yesterday where Jeff Wilpon is quoted as saying that he hates Steve Cohen, and that he wants A-Rod to come away with the team or make Cohen pay double the nearest offer. So if this is the case, I don't know what the rules are surrounding like selling a team or whatever. It seems like A-Rod's going to be the next owner of the New York Mets.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, man?
I'll tell you this, Manny. It'll be an improvement for the Mets. And I can no longer, talk ill of that organization because they'll be doing something that benefits the future.
Is it enough to make you want to abandon your organization and move over to a team that resides within like your, area, your location, your current location?
No, but I'll be happy if A-Rod can. No, I'm not becoming a Mets fan if that's what you're asking, but I would enjoy that A-Rod gets credit for bringing a championship to the Mets. I would enjoy that outcome. That storybook ending.
I bet Mets fans though, legit Mets fans are probably looking at the story and being like, fuck, because I don't know how A-Rod and his group would act as owners. I don't know if they would pull a Jeter and just tear the shit down to rebuild or whatever. What we do know is that Stephen Cohen grew up a Mets fan. I think he's from Queens, and he's an ultra billionaire. He's like the way he's described, he's like a Steinbrenner type figure that it's win at all costs. He's probably going to, if he becomes owner, he's not going to be afraid to spend money. I don't know if that's what A-Rod's going to be. So if I'm a Mets fan, I'm probably thinking like, damn, I kind of want Cohen to be my owner. But A-Rod might come in. He's a smart businessman, and he might, create the next juggernaut of a team. Who knows?
Yeah, probably. But I just want to say, like, they already threw money at this. Not a lot of money, but they signed Cespedes.
Yeah.
They have Jeurys Familia back.
Well, Cespedes is gone. Like after what he just did, he's not coming back because he's not gonna get it. He's not gonna get that extension. I think there was like a clause in it for one.
No, what
more
I'm
year.
saying,
I think he becomes a free agent now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they already they already kind of had their go around for this team. Like they had a DeGrom, Syndergaard, Steven Matz, Matt Harvey, with Cespedes, with Daniel Murphy, and all those other guys that are escaping my name right now.
Justin Turner.
Yeah. No. I'm talking in the sense of like when they had a chance that little window that they had a chance to win a World Series.
Oh yeah.
They already kind of had their go ahead. So if a guy like A-Rod comes in and decides to blow it up and trade DeGrom for like the Marlins' top 3 prospects, which are beasts.
The Marlins are good, man.
Yeah, they're you know,
they're an exciting team, and we still haven't seen Sixto yet, who I'm watching just in case.
Everything I hear says he's not getting called up this year, but
there's some degenerates on our fantasy league that, my God, I had an alert set for Casey Mize yesterday.
Casey Mize, yeah, he'll be starting tomorrow.
I go to fucking pick him up, and he's gone already. And I had to look at his shit earlier in the day because
so I knew that
they needed a starter, and I was like, it might be Casey Mize, but I don't want to waste this, you know.
So did I. Let's be honest. We should do away with the acquisition pickups limit.
I'm down. I'm okay with that.
Do away with the limit. What do you think?
I'm down. I don't know if we could do it mid-season, but I'm down. Maybe we can.
Maybe.
I don't know. So one thing about the Yankees and the Red Sox, I laughed at CT for the atrociousness that is the Red Sox now. I'm not going to do that again. But I do want to bring up this one thing again because I feel like it's something that people should consider or think about or comment if you want to interact with the show. I had said the Aaron Judge situation, him being injury prone, and set for free agency in about 2 or 3 years. I'm not sure how that's going to work for him.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm the New York Yankees, seeing that he's coming off of multiple injuries, missing, lots of games over the last 2 or 3 seasons, I would come at Judge to secure that he stays with my team for the long term because I'm not sure they're going to want to pay him Mookie Betts type money in 2 or 3 years. I would go to Judge now when he's kind of down and offer him an extension to keep him with the team. And what I had proposed to you was 8 years, 160. Takes him to age 36, 37, $20 million a year. What would you say, Aaron?
So, yeah, $20 million a year for a guy who's in the conversation as the second best player in baseball or the best player in baseball not named Mike Trout, or at least in terms of run producing, right? You like that stat? Run producing? Whatever is the stat that you like to look at. It just doesn't seem right. $20 million, but I just feel like the bar is currently, for a player like that, the bar is currently $30 million. But just to be fair, I think he's not going to get that $30 million a year because of the injuries. And because
he might, if he hits free agency, there might be a team out there that says,
"Well,
I can have Aaron Judge on my team. Maybe he'll stay healthy." He might.
I'm speaking in terms of this being an extension. Like, what would be a good number for his extension? Before I said $25 million a year. Now I'm thinking more like 27-ish.
The reason why I think it should be less is because he's 2 years away, 2 years removed from free agency. He could get hurt and never play again. We don't know. And his prior history has shown that he's going to miss 50, 60, maybe 100 games in a season like he did 2 years ago, I think it was. So I could come to Judge and be like, listen, we appreciate you on our team. You're definitely the next captain of the New York Yankees. We want you to be a Yankee for the rest of your career, but we're taking a big risk if we're going to give you $30 million a year based on your histories. But we do want to keep you here, so we're going to offer you 20 over 8 years. What's he going to say? You know what I mean? Nah, dog. I'm sure I'm going to stay healthy.
I'd be thinking like, nah, you know what? I know I don't miss the playoffs ever, and I hit home runs in the playoffs, so I like a little bit more than $20 million a year. Like I saw what you guys gave Garrett Cole. Like, come on, the guy pitches once a week. But
what if you try to go for another diving catch and you fucking break another rib? Like, then what? What are we gonna do now? Now we got to pay you $20 million to sit on the bench? Come on, Judge.
Well,
look at it from our point of view.
But you guys agreed to take on Giancarlo Stanton, who I'm better than, and that guy misses a lot of time. And
you're throwing your teammate under the bus, Judge. We can't. So I don't know. I'm starting to rethink this offer here because now you're just throwing your own.
Well, I actually grew up as a Red Sox fan, so if you guys could just trade me there. Oh man.
No, I get it. I understand. And if I'm Judge, I'm probably declining that too. But I would seriously consider it again because of my history. And guys of Judge's size don't tend to do well in baseball. I could think of Dave Winfield. After that, I don't know. Like
You're saying
I
guys
can't.
that are like that large.
He's fucking huge. This guy's
Yeah,
humongous.
yeah.
Like
And it show.
Giancarlo Stanton is a physical freak. Judge
Yeah,
is bigger than Stanton is. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. And it shows like you said he was grimacing after that home run. Like
Yeah,
what
just
what
rounding second.
like clearly like the torque that you are able to muster up in your body is your bones and muscles are not strong enough for that. So
I don't
either you have
understand.
to be
Yeah.
like either you have to be Superman where he has to hold back his strength because he could like tear the fabric of our space-time continuum or whatever the thing is. You also have to limit yourself. Like you can no longer cock back and try to gun the guy out at second or something. You have to do like 80% of that, basically.
Yeah.
Which is still a good Aaron Judge, by the way. Like I think you're still gonna get like 30 home runs and or more in a season like that. But
And
clearly, every time this guy, you know,
yeah, and to his credit, he wanted to play. He said he felt 100%. He wanted to play. The Yankees decided to better safe than sorry. Let's give them the rest. Like we're in first place. We have the best record in the AL aside from the Oakland A's. Let's just let you rest, get you right, and then you could come back next week. I think he's eligible to return probably at the end of this week or something. So to his credit, he wanted to come back. Another one of those injuries was a broken wrist after he was plunked. Another one of those injuries was a diving catch where he landed on his body and broke a rib. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these, the one injury that should be really concerning was that oblique because it was based on the swing. And then if he's really hurt now, this injury is concerning too because these are like like my body's just fucking can't handle this shit type injuries.
do you
But yeah,
think that there's any way that he hears the rumors about him being this injury bust type of player
hell yeah.
shouldn't even be in the conversation of best players in the league because he's always injured or whatever? Do you think he hears the rumors and that the Yankees released a statement? By the way, he wanted to play through it. He wanted to stay in there. When in reality, it's like, no, we needed to take him off the field for 10 days because it's bad.
Yeah, I want to hear. To be fair, I read it through a report that Judge wanted to play. So you're probably right. It was probably the Yankees trying to save face.
Or
I
maybe
want to
just
hear
make him,
Judge say that.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or I want to hear Aaron Boone say, yeah, he wanted to play, but I said, nah, I call the shots.
Judgy, no Judgy.
Yeah.
Because he calls everybody, he shortens their name, kind of like Joe Girardi did too.
Girardi did, yeah.
Damn, my team is good. But anyway, should we try to talk about how bad your team is, or you want to just?
What is there to say? We're the worst. I think we're the worst team in baseball because the two teams that I thought were the worst teams, the Marlins and the Orioles, are holding their own. Like the Orioles bash any pitcher that steps on that mound. The Marlins are sustaining a decent record to stay in the playoff hunt. I think I haven't checked it in a couple of days, but because they haven't played it, but because they
I
haven't
believe
played
they're
as
both in the playoff hunt. Yeah.
yeah, but because they haven't played as many games as everyone else, the Marlins have the benefit of a higher winning percentage here. And there's really not much else to say. The games are pretty much over by the third inning. Our starting pitching sucks. Granted, we gave away, David Price and lost Chris Sale and Rick Porcello, Cy Young winner with the Red Sox.
Fucking Dombrowski, man. I would see like the way you phrase that. It's almost like, damn, man, we have to trade these guys. Like, it's just part of business. No, it's because Dombrowski, like I said before, was making it rain. He was like just handing money left and right. It was fucking insane in there.
But we also got a championship out of it. So it's like we got to take the good with the bad. The same thing, the same game that make you laugh can make you cry.
Okay, so if your team is
the same game that makes you laugh, the same game that makes you math can make you die.
Okay. Okay. But so I looked through the league, right? And I think the Mariners have the best farm system. The last I read, they trade fucking everybody for a prospect.
Thanks to the Mets.
Thanks to the Mets. You have teams like the White Sox look super promising. Like I think they're going to be scary in the future very soon. The Tigers have some decent players out there. You're going to see Casey Mize coming up pretty soon. The Blue Jays are looking good. I think the Orioles are playing a little bit above expectations to this point. I think they're going to come back down to earth at some point, but you're seeing some of the talent that they've put around. You have teams like the Marlins, like I said, we still haven't seen their best pitcher yet, their best prospect come out, and they're 9-7, second place in the NL East. And on and on and on. I could keep going and going and going. The concerning thing about the Red Sox is unless a team comes in and says, I'm going to give you 6 number 1 picks for, Xander Bogaerts or some shit. I don't know how that team is going to turn this around in the near future. I think it's going to be a while before the Red Sox are contending for a championship again.
No, yeah, I would agree. It's going to have to take us trading away basically everybody, just blowing it up for us to build up the farm system or
being super patient.
Or being super patient and also retaining the guys that we do have, like Bogaerts and Devers. Chris Sale is coming back, and also signing new guys to bring it in and be contenders. So
what about, would you say that Benintendi is, what are your feelings on Benintendi?
I think he's valuable. And it's also it's only the beginning of the season still, technically. I know it's almost over because it's only 60 games, but like I almost have to feel like Devers' struggles. I can't just write him off because he put together such a good season last year. Like
yeah. No, I wouldn't write off Devers.
Yeah, I wouldn't write him off just yet. And even Benintendi, I mean, I'll admit that since he came into the league, he's underperformed, but I still think he has high value.
I mean, he's so he came in as a Rookie of the Year runner-up.
Yeah.
Who won Rookie of the Year that year? That was 2017. Oh, I know. Aaron Judge.
Yeah, okay. I would hope so. You're 52, 51.
No, I swear that was a coincidence, and it's the timing. I just had to take that pause to rub it in a little bit. But anyway, he had his best season in 2018, career year, of course. 2018 Red Sox career year. And then, like, even last season, he wasn't that great.
No, last year he wasn't.
And this year, he's atrocious. So, I don't know.
Okay, atrocious? Like, he wasn't as bad as Gary Sanchez.
I think he's having a worse season than Jose Altuve right now. He might be having a worse season than Gary Sanchez. Let's do a little comparison.
But it all comes back to our starting pitching and the lack of starting pitching. So it's not enjoyable to look forward to like a Yankees Red Sox series anymore for me. Is that what you want to hear? You want me to sit here and tell you all the?
You know what it is? It's too soon for me to rub this point in. But I feel like in a few years, you're gonna see my point of view that yes, the Yankees haven't won since 2009, but aside from 2000 and even in 2015, they tried blowing it up. Wait, was it in 2015? Anyway, I'm losing my point here. But anyway, they've been like, I haven't not looked forward to watching a Yankees game since 93 or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand.
No, you don't, because you can't say the same for the Red Sox.
No.
Just kidding. Finish.
I understand where you were saying, and just to even jump on that, I would be okay with the Red Sox blowing up because we don't have the same team. We lost Betts. We lost Chris Sale for the season, so I wouldn't be upset if they tried to trade away pieces and build back the farm system. Honestly, like. What is that, like a 2-year, 3-year turnaround if they go that route?
You're looking at it in the now, and in the now for sure. That's what, if I was a Red Sox fan, I would feel heartbroken to see some of the talent that I've accrued over the years, specifically someone like Benintendi. Maybe not so much Xander Bogaerts, because I think Xander Bogaerts he could be their captain for all for whatever that means. And Rafi Devers, like you said, you don't have a season like you had last season as a mistake. Like that's, you have talent. But yeah, at this point now, the best thing I think would be to be patient and keep those two guys. And I think everyone else is kind of dispensable, and you just try to build that team up slowly. And in 5 years, maybe 10 years, maybe the Yankees have like 4 championships by then. I'm not sure.
I will guarantee they don't.
I'm just kidding, man.
I'm not kidding. They're not going to have Bro, listen.
All right, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Here's a question. Who do the Yankees, or do they trade for anybody to during the season this year. I mean, Clint Frazier is beasting right now.
I think they should the weakest part of this team still to me is starting pitching. You improved it with Garrett Cole, but after that, everybody's a question mark for the most part. Like James Paxton has looked good the last 2 starts, but he still doesn't have his top stuff yet. Like, is there something wrong with him? And is he gonna end up in the IL again at some point soon? J Happ was a mistake. I'm ready to admit it. Masahiro Tanaka, like you said, he could tomorrow his fucking whatever it is might go and you will never see him again. I would take one of these guys, and I'm glad that Frazier's up, and I hope he's here to stay. But I would take one of these guys that we just keep fucking around with, and they're just in the minors, and they could very well, play in the big leagues and try to get another pitcher if I could. I don't know who, but somebody. I don't even want another Cole. That would be great. I would take somebody who can give me a 3.54 ERA, who's going to give me 6 innings. You know what I mean? Like, I'll take somebody like that. Gives up 3 or 4 runs a game. The Yankees should be able to win games like that, in my opinion.
No, yeah, because of the bullpen. Always fallbacks on the bullpen. Yeah.
So
I'm just wondering if they will. I'm wondering if they will, though. Will they make a move? So Clint Frazier's destiny is.
No, I think Frazier's here to stay. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's the everyday left fielder. I think Giancarlo Stanton becomes
but what about
DH? And I think Brett Gardner's a bench player at this point. Like, I hate to say it. I love Brett Gardner, Gardy, as they call him. But this is likely his last season. And I got to play Frazier, man. They got to stop this shit already.
Well, Estevan Florial is going to be the – here's the thing. You got Hicks for like 7 years. Judge isn't going anywhere. Stan's not going anywhere. Estevan Florial is going to be the outfielder.
Mike Talkman.
Random.
I mean, look at his stats last year, and he hasn't been that bad this year.
No, I know. I'm just saying that I don't see how Clint Frazier stays.
I think he stays. I think he stays because Gardner's gone after this year, and Stan's your everyday DH. And you know what? Maybe Judge can't play the field every day either anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing that I think that guys like there's a DH fill because you got guys like Voit, Judge, Stan, even Gary Sanchez. But unless
Sanchez's defense has gotten way better this year.
Has it? Because he has like a pass ball. Was that a joke or?
No, I'm being serious.
His defense has gotten way better this year. Yes. Okay, but we already know how defensive stats work, so don't bring any of that into the conversation.
Oh, you saw me typing.
I'm talking about but I'm talking about what I've seen in the game so far of him of catchable balls being let go because he's catching on one knee, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm talking about. I still don't think. Anyways, I don't see unless Clint Frazier converts himself into a second baseman somehow. You know, where can the Yankees put him with Florial coming up and Talkman now being in the mix, and Aaron Hicks also, and Judge.
So you're right. Maybe they're building up his value. They're putting him up here to show him off a little bit and try to get somebody big in return. I think for Frazier though, I would want someone more than just a middle of the road starter. I think I'd want an A+ talent who's going to command a lot of money or something, or a pick or some shit. I don't know.
Do you think
like a really high pick?
Do you think the relationship between Frazier and the Yankees organization is still sour? And do you think he would rather go to another team? If he's going to be in the minors, he might as well just go to another team. And the only thing stopping him from coming up is his own performance, not because there's
I'm going to sound cocky as fuck here, but I don't see why you wouldn't want to play for the Yankees. Like, you're going to have a chance at a World Series every single year. You may not win it. We haven't won since 2009, but there's going to be a chance that you could make it to the World Series, a realistic chance.
But see, I think
if you become a star here, it's like Aaron Judge again. Like Aaron Judge, if we found out tomorrow that the Yankees extended Aaron Judge and that they gave him Mookie Betts money, we'd be shocked. But I think we'd be like, okay, I understand why. You know what I mean? Even though he's been injury prone, I feel like I'd be like, okay, I get it. You know, he's Aaron Judge. Like, he's A-Rod for me now. Like, when he's at bat, I want to see his at bats. He's He's the face of baseball, essentially, in a lot of ways, aside from Mike Trout, Mookie Betts. I forgot what my point was, man. I'm lost.
Your point is that why wouldn't you want to stay in the Yankees? And my point is
Why wouldn't you want to stay in the Yankees? Exactly. Because if Clint Frazier continues to play the way he's playing, he's already a fan favorite. Fans love this guy. If he continues to play this way, he will be a lifer in with the Yankees, even if he goes at some point. Like, you have guys like Tino Martinez, played for the Yankees. You would think that he played for us for like 20 years. He played for the Yankees between 1996 and 2001, I think it was. So
Paul O'Neill.
that's a 5-year stretch, and he's a forever Yankee. You know what I mean? Like,
Paul O'Neill.
Paul O'Neill played for longer. Don't talk about my Paul O'Neill like that.
I'm saying
again.
he literally won a World Series with a different team, and he's still recognized as a Yankee. Yeah, I was
exactly.
to your point, but you got to make it all about, like, I'm trying to take a
whereas with the Red Sox,
here's my point.
Johnny Damon, you'd be like, yo, Johnny, what World Series means the most to you? He's probably gonna be like, 09 with the Yankees. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. My point with Clint Frazier is that I think in the end of the day, 90% of these players are ego driven. He's a baseball player. He wants to play at the highest level. What I think is going through his brain right now is, I know that I'm not a starter on this team, at least for this year, but I feel like I should be, because look at what I'm doing at the plate,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the whole Albert Pujols thing. Who's a better stand-up player and role model than Albert Pujols? But in the end, Albert Pujols chose money over the St. Louis legacy. So if Pujols, who already is the all-time status for an organization like St. Louis Cardinals, if he chose the path of the riches over, legacy, then a guy like Clint Frazier, who's not even there yet, he hasn't even played a full season. He's not on any starting lineup roster unless guys like Stanton and Judge are injured. I think he would want to go to another organization if it meant that he would be that everyday starter. Right now, he's not the everyday starter, but he's playing like the everyday starter. So
I feel like he's here to stay. To be honest, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think and I think he's the starter moving forward.
Whether he's here to stay is one thing, but the whole relationship being sour, I would think that he's learned to say the right things in terms of, like, I'm here to do whatever I can to help the team win. But deep down inside, he wants to be a starter. I played with enough guys that always want the limelight of being like the starter.
The guy, yeah.
And he's got the talent to be that guy. And I think he knows that and doesn't want to be on the Yankees if it means he's only on the Yankees if 5 guys are injured,
Why are you trying to, like, take a swipe at my team? Like,
you took a swipe at my team, man. Every day you take a swipe at my team. It's easy to kick a guy when he's down. That's what you're doing.
No, I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So one last thing before we go, the whole Tatis thing, the Juan Soto thing, even the Clint Frazier conversation for me makes me feel hopeful about the game, because I think there's a slow change coming. Like, the fact that people have Fernando Tatis's back, aside from Tingler, again, change that last name, man. That it sounds perverted. I'm sorry.
Tingler.
And Chris Woodward, aside from guys like that, people are okay with running up the score now. People are okay with flaunting bat flips, stare downs. Like, the game is changing. Just embrace it.
Yeah.
Take it, embrace it, and enjoy it.
Rules were meant to be broken.
Hell yeah, dog.
Full show.
Word. All right. I think that's it, right? Hopefully.
I think so. I think we covered it.
We're revamping our website, WTTSpod.com. So check it out. If you have any ideas for the website, let me know. The things that I'm doing now is a hitter power ranking, moonshots, which are the longest home runs. And I'm going to start a series called If the MLB Postseason Started Today, because with the new postseason rules, it'd be interesting to see, like, who's in it and who's not, now that so many teams are. So if anybody has any ideas, leave it in the comment section. Check out the website. Follow me at Manigo3. Follow him, that guy, that nice guy over there. Say something so the camera shifts to you.
I'm sorry, man.
There it is.
You caught me off guard.
at Hovo Mojo. Follow the show at WTTSpod.com. Peace.
Peace.